name is Eray. I own a 2000 model R34 GT-R V-Spec, Midnight Purple 3. My first initial GT-R is R33 GT-R. At the time, I did love the R34s when they were released, and me being a young teenager, couldn't afford it.
Tell me about the story of how you found your car.
A bit of a funny story actually. It wasn't purchased in Australia. My cousin Axe actually has a friend who lives in Cyprus, and his job was to find cars, vehicles. At that time he knew that I was looking for one, and he ended up giving us a call from Cyprus and said there was one for sale. The car was situated in Germany. So I ended up buying him a ticket to go to Germany to get him to inspect the car. We ended up paying for a container just to have the car in the container by itself, because I was scared that once they put it on the ship, they were gonna steal stuff off the car. So in Germany, they don't really know what a GT-R is. It was basically parked outside in the back, no cover, just in the driveway. So it was filthy, not looked after. Body-wise, had a few dents, scratches, different wheels. Engine was damaged, had a bit of a knock noise. We assumed it was a standard car, and it just had minor mods. The kid that I purchased the car off always said to me, it's a fast car. When I actually came home, inspected the car, actually opened up the bonnet and took a good look at the engine, and the engine was actually modified. So engine was built, had headwork, had turbos, exhaust, intercooler, computer. Pretty much it was a modified car. And I thought, wow, I hit the jackpot. I've hit the jackpot.
So what was your initial plan for the car?
My initial plan was to pull the engine out, have it inspected. In my mind, it was just a spun bearing. After the inspection, we actually found that the block was cracked. It was a bottom end failure. It basically was either buy another 2.6 block original GT-R engine, or stroke it to a 2.8. Andrew from Buildtech would always say to me, do an RB30. RB30 is the 3-litre blocks from the early Skylines and the VLs. So by the time I'd done my calculations to do an original 2.6 or a 2.8, was actually going to cost double the price of me doing a RB30 with a 3.2 stroker. I decided RB30, 3.2 stroker, and then from there we ended up machining the block, getting everything ready for the stroker kit. I was aiming for probably 1,000 horsepower at the engine, so I ended up purchasing single turbo kit. From there on, stripping the car, we decided let's paint the engine bay, and that's where the build literally started to take off. So once we started, we couldn't finish. Andrew from Buildtech literally assembled the engine, got everything ready for me. Obviously there was a lot of fabrication with turbos, exhausts, pipe work, and he had an electrician that he wanted the car sent to. He sort of led me in the right direction computer-wise. I basically said to him, I want as clean as possible. So whatever wiring you can hide, whatever you can do, basically do it for me. So he had the car for a few months, and every few weeks or so he'll want some parts from me or switches, or so every once in a while I'll go down there. And because the car was still stripped, it didn't have any bodywork on it, I used to actually freak out, because I'd look at the car and I think to myself, what's this guy doing? Like I can't see like what he's done. But then he'll come over and say, oh, well, I ran your wiring around here and I've hidden this wiring here. So then as I start to look around, I'm like, wow. That's like, basically did everything custom. All the wiring was all custom, setup was all custom. Did a few other points for me, which I didn't even know. He had a separate joiner to separate the engine, so you don't have to physically take all the wiring out. From that, obviously, we had to do all the brake systems. I love the look of the R35 brakes, obviously being Brembo. And I actually purchased calipers from America because I couldn't find any here. With that, the calipers came. and I needed discs, so I actually opted to get the biggest brakes I could. So Just Jump actually helped me out with the discs, the hubs, and we ended up opting for 390mm at the front and 380mm at the back. Obviously, if we're running a big engine with big power, we need to stop. Yeah, so we ended up putting J-hook AP Racing disc on it as well. Wheels wise, it took me a while actually to choose wheels. The car originally came with CE 28s. I decided I just wanted something different. So after many months looking through different types of wheels, offsets, I ended up opting for the work wheels, and work wheels actually had the bronze. I wanted bronze wheels. The original color I wanted for the center, apparently they don't make anymore, so we had to change to the silver. And I opted for the red cap. And when I used to tell people that I've got a red cap, they were like, ugh, red cap, it's gonna look crap. But I had a vision in my mind, so once everything went together, it actually suited the car. For the paintwork and body, I would say Auto Elements actually, they had to make everything fit properly. A lot of fiberglass went into it, a lot of hours. Once the bodywork and everything was done, it was a funny story. We actually looked at it, and as a joke, I said to Kevin, do we know how to build cars or what?
Can you tell us a bit about the paintwork and the bodywork?
We had an initial discussion about the vehicle. We got some photos. We couldn't really see the car properly and through photos. So a lot of times we like to see the car in person. So we actually went over to their place, took the time to observe the car, understand the story behind the car, which was a really interesting one. And the most exciting thing, that reason why we wanted to take on this job was because it was our first R34 GT-R in the midnight purple. Axe obviously has built Hulk 20B, which is a very reputable car in the scene. So with this project here, the car the body shape wasn't too bad, like the condition of it wasn't too bad. So there was very minimal like repair work that we needed to do on the car. And Eray wanted to opt for the Z-Tune front end. It's a front end that he's always loved the look of because of the aggressiveness, the stance that it gives it. The paintwork, it was our first Midnight Purple 3 that we've painted in the shop using PPG paint. And yeah, it's been flow coated as well. So that allows the paintwork to look really flat, the finish. So it's an extra step that we take and a service that we provide for customers that are looking for that flat finish or that show finish. It was one of our first projects that our customer has gone to that kind of extreme to do, the full undercarriage, the nut and bolt thing, like it's all zinc coated, literally everything is brand new. We almost didn't have enough paint to paint this car. So we called up PPG for Midnight Purple 3, and it comes already like pre-mixed, right? They actually didn't have enough paint. So we said we wanted X amount of liters. They're like, dude, we've only got this much. And they go, we need to get back to you. So it actually took a few weeks for them to like call up other places to try to get the amount of paint that we needed to us. Yeah. So at the time, it was pretty much like, scraping the bottom of the barrel to get as much paint as we can to paint this car. You know what the funny thing is? Even when this car rocked up today, and it's not like I haven't seen this car, right? I was looking at it going, man, that's a really nice car. Yeah, like even him rolling up and he's like, the fuck, man, like you guys painted it. But to me, it's just like that color that you forget, it looks so mesmerizing. Like when we were like detailing the car for delivery and ceramic coating it, it was just so mesmerizing. Like when we have the lights on the car and you're just like buffing this car for hours, you just look at the paint going, fuck, I really want this paint job on my car. And the thing I love about Eray the most and why I think we became so close is he's always such a happy guy. And even though this thing looks like a shiny object and all that, to him it's like, dude, if something happens to it, like we'll fix it. It's fine, do you know what I mean?
I wanted to keep the original seats. I didn't want to replace them with something else. I actually like the feel of them. So the car actually came with a limited edition Momo 3-spoke wheel. So I opted to get that retrimmed, seats retrimmed, door trims, roof liner, Alcantara and Napa leather. Obviously I wanted to stay true to the red stitching too, so, which was the original colour, so we did red stitching. I've always wanted a Motec dash. He led me to buy the new Nexus R5, and with that I actually wanted the keypad system, PDM system. So we ended up buying that, and then he led me to CWC, Andrew, to buy the...
This R34 is a great example of a build done right. Can you talk us through the do's and don'ts of building a car for anyone who's looking to embark on their own journey?
Pretty much, if you want to build a car, you have to budget and plan. That's the most important thing, right? And also be realistic about the outcome and understand what you can get for the money that you spend on it.
So if anyone's looking at your R34 and looking to do their own build, what are your biggest tips or advice?
Get ready for GDR tax. Basically, whatever you buy for a 34 is double the price.
So what we've got here today is Erayza R34, and we're so lucky to have this car at Unmarked Volume 2. Everything about this R34 has been stripped down and redone from the get-go. It's been a privilege to now be able to tell you the story behind the build and what the team at Auto Elements and Erayza have put together. We are so excited to see what else they've got coming up, and we look forward to bringing you more of the stories of uncovering the build. So what's next for the car?
Oh, I'm happy with the 1,000 horsepower at the engine, but he literally laughed at me. So knowing Andrew very well, he likes to turn things up. There's only one thing left, is to drive it, put Ks on it. It's only on running tune, and to turn it up. Turn up the power.